Hi, John. This is Amanda with Digital Velocity and SEO. And Barrett told me you were interested in us taking a look at what your online marketing looks like. And so I wanted to shoot you this little screencast video here to kind of show you your current standing and some ways that we might be able to help you. Before I talk about your website, I want to go back over to Google Business. So I don't know if you're familiar with how a web page is broken up when you search for a service. So at the top here, whenever you search for a service, if this is a category that Google Guaranteed allows, which yours is, there will be the Google Guaranteed ads at the very, very top. Which this is a great program to get involved in. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, and I can talk to you about it in more depth if you would like, but it's a much better program than pay-per-click. There's a lot of really good things about it, but one of the top things is that you're not paying for clicks or impressions. You're paying for actual qualified leads, and those leads are only being sold to you. So it's not like Angie's List or Home Advisor where you're having to compete with 3 or 4 different contractors. They're just for you. Google guarantees your work up to a certain monetary value, so that it helps with customers being more comfortable going to you if they know that they're going to get a refund if they're not happy. Those are just a few of the things, but there's really a lot of good things about getting into this program. And then below that is the regular sponsored ads. So this is where your pay-per-click comes into play. And then below that is the map pack. So it's usually these 3 or 4 listings next to this little map here. And then down below that is the organic section, which is where your website comes into play. So technically you can get into this map pack without even having to have a website. And, it's good to get into as many of these sections as possible so that, when somebody searches for remodeling contractors, Olympia, Washington, you're showing up in as many of these sections as possible so that you're kind of right there in front of their face and they choose you because you're, showing up in all of these sections. And it's shown like a certain amount of people only go to the map pack, which, actually more people only go to the map pack than they do the ads or the organic listings. So being ranked in the map pack is super important. And that's kind of where I saw, that you're lacking a little bit. Your website, we'll get into this more a little bit later, but your website looks pretty good as far as what your keywords that you're ranking for. You're just not showing up in this map pack. So, that's where I would focus right now, is to get you into one of these ad programs if you'd like. I wouldn't suggest Google pay-per-click. I would just go with Google Guaranteed, and then getting your Google Business listing ranked, because looking at your Google Business listing here, so what we do when we work with a new client is we optimize this whole listing out, and we do that by going in here and adding photos, making sure that they're geotagged with your location. So that's an extra little boost for SEO, making sure that you're in the correct categories and that you have the correct services in there and that you have a description for each of the services that you do. That's really important. Making sure that your name, address, phone number is correct. And then reviews. It looks like your reviews are, you've got a 3 out of 5 star review here, which is probably one of the main reasons that you're not ranking higher than you are. So, figuring out ways to clean up these reviews, and to, kind of flood it with new 5-star reviews so that you can kind of bury some of these bad reviews is going to be really important. Reviews are a huge part of ranking a Google Business listing. So the updates section here doesn't look like you have any updates. That's a really important part too. Google likes to see that you're continually adding new things to your Google Business listing so that they know that you're active and you're up to date, so that their customers are getting the correct information and all of that when they search for a service. So updating, with, you do military discount or, projects that you're doing right now, anything that you can put in here as an update. Usually what we'll do is we'll cross post whatever we put on social media, also on your Google Business listing. There's also a section here, for questions and answers. It's not on here because you don't have any, but, usually it's best if you have, customers asking you questions, but if you don't have anybody that's asking questions on here, we can go in and ask and answer your own questions. So, things that the customer would normally ask you, or things that you want them to know is what we can put in the questions and answers. And that's another part of this Google business listing that they really like to see, that there's continually, that you're continually adding things in there. And then, down below, so it looks like your socials are linked, which is good. But they give you 750 words here to describe your business. So making sure that this is completely used, you use all of the characters, and that you have a couple of keywords thrown in there too is very important. So all of that is 50% of the ranking factor for the map pack. And then the other 50% is what's called citations. So that's going to be your name, address, and phone number as it's listed in Google. Across different directories like Yext, Yellow Pages, BBB, Facebook, anywhere there's a business directory listing. And for new clients, when we work with them, we build 200 of these hand-placed citations so that you far surpass your competition and so that it takes them a while to catch back up to you. So those are the things that it takes to rank in the Google Map Pack. And then for your website, like I was saying, it looks like you're doing pretty good, as far as the keywords that you have right now. But so the UR and the DR scores are basically like the trust that Google has in you, that you are who you say you are and you do what you say you do, and the power that's being driven to your website. And you drive power to your website by what's called backlinks. And backlinks are essentially any link that's on another website that leads back to your website. So if there was a blog post that was about home remodeling in Olympia and the author gave you a link that led back to your website, if it's what's called a do follow link, then that would be like that website saying, hey, it's okay for you to share my power with this other website. And that's important because that's how you drive your keywords up into the rankings. So, you'll initially show up for the keywords just by placing them in the content on your website. But to rank for them, you need to be doing backlinks. And this is a monthly SEO service, to get them to move up into, on the first page of Google. So the referring domains are just the websites that host those backlinks. And then keywords, you have 56 keywords, and that's bringing you in 124 organic traffic per month. So taking a look at your keywords, what we're looking for here is location-specific keywords, because we're trying to find the keywords that are, in your area. So there are people that are in your area that are searching for your services. So they're highly likely to convert for you, or sorry, my tongue tied. They'd be more likely to convert for you than somebody that was outside of your region. So, it looks like you are, ranking for a lot of keywords that are in this area. So that's great. And you're in, pretty decent positions for most of them. So, you see like remodeling contractor, Olympia, the volume is how many people per month are searching for this keyword. The traffic is how much traffic you're getting to your site from this keyword. And the position is the position that you're in on Google. So for remodeling contractor, Olympia, there's 70 people per month searching for that. You're getting 26 traffic to your site per month, and you're in the second position. So you can see you're on the first page for most of your keywords until right about this spot. And then these are all second and third and fourth and fifth page. So, you're not bringing in any traffic from these keywords right here. Everywhere from here down, these keywords are pretty much useless for right now. But you can see that if you get yourself ranking for these ones as well, you'd be drawing in some more of that traffic. So really it'd be about, going in here, doing the research against your competition to find the keywords that they're ranking for that you're not ranking for, getting those keywords into the content on your website, and then doing monthly SEO to boost you up into the rankings for those keywords. So, I can see here, I saw on your website that you go to Tacoma and all that too, which is another really good place for keywords. So it looks like all of your keywords are pretty much for Lacey and Olympia. So I did pull up some competition that was, in Tacoma. So I would say, to go after some of those keywords too, the Tacoma keywords, and whatever cities that you want to rank in or that you service, you need to get keywords from that area and get them into the content on your website, and then, do SEO to get yourself ranking for those too, so that you're bringing in, search traffic from all the different areas that you service. So, these people aren't doing as good as you as far as like backlinks and traffic, but they do have, keywords that we would want to go after. There's, some of these are Olympia. Oh, this must be Olympia too. Let me see the next one. I pulled up some Olympia and some Tacoma so I could kind of get an idea of what the keywords look like. But, so yeah, here, this person is pretty much all Tacoma. So we would take all these keywords too that are things that are relevant to your business, like home builders, Tacoma, Washington. That's a good one. Home builders, Tacoma. So these are all keywords that we would want to get you ranking for too. So, getting these into the content on your site, and we probably need to build extra pages so that, we can fit this content in there, because you can only have one keyword per 125 words of regular content. So that's why we build out more pages, is so that we have more opportunities to target more keywords. Like I would make a page for each of these individual things here, and then target the keywords that were, relative to the page, on those separate pages. So yeah, anyways, those are some of the ways that I could show you that we could help you. If you're interested in moving forward, the next step would be to have a 20 to 30 minute phone call with me, just so I can gather some more information from you, to be able to build you a custom proposal. And so if you would like to schedule that phone call with me, you can reach back out through the email that I sent you, or you can give me a call at 360-506-6363, and we can get that scheduled. Thanks, and I hope that you found this helpful. Have a great day.